Hey everybody, it's Mike Young, lifestyle nutritionist with aPlantBasedDiet.org. Welcome to chapter 36 of Live to 150 V-Book. This one is on vitamin B12 and supplements. So if you've been in this movement for any kind of time, you probably already know this could be a very short chapter because basically, and I will explain a little bit, you don't need to take any supplements, unless you're deficient. And if you're deficient in something, you're not eating a well-balanced diet. That's the root cause. We want to work on the root cause of things, all right? So I'm sure everybody could always use some improvement. And of course, I'm a lifestyle nutritionist. Contact me if you're concerned about what you're eating. We would have to look at everything in a real specific manner. We don't do generalizations or make assumptions. That's not going to work, especially if you have a deficiency. But B12 is the only thing you need. And the reason why is because if you're eating animal products, you're usually getting B12. But if you're eating plants, you're not, because the animals are getting in contact with the ground and bacteria. And that's generally how B12 is transmitted to humans. But please take a B12 supplement. It's very inexpensive. The pills are very, very inexpensive. You don't need any kind of special thing. I know I've seen B12 stores out there now. All they do is they provide vitamin B12 to anybody that wants it, and they don't do anything else. I guess they do shots, they do pills, I think sublingual things under your tongue. There's all kinds of different ways you can go about doing this. Just make sure you're getting a high quality source of just straight up B12. You're getting it on a regular basis. And if you're not sure if your B12 levels are good, just get some blood tests, get them to check. That's all you have to do. Now, in terms of the supplements, not only are supplements not addressing the root cause, and as you can tell, B12 is outside of that, all right? But the other supplements are not, because if you're deficient in something, it's because you are not eating a wide variety of plants. You're not eating a balanced diet. So that's what we need to focus on if we're going to solve that problem. You don't want to rely on supplements. Now, why do you not want to rely on supplements? Two reasons. Number one is, how do you know that the supplement that you're taking is actually what they say it is? A lot of this is a similar concept to your food. How do you know it's organic? How do you know it's chemical free? How do you know they grew it outdoors instead of indoors? Well, you don't. The only way you know is if you grow it yourself, which is why with our organization, we're trying to move towards people growing their own food. You really know what's going on in those cases. You absolutely do. Whereas the other direction, which is buying your produce at the store, you really don't know. You're taking someone's word for it. And who's checking them? When's the last time you've ever checked, for that matter? Probably never. Same thing with your supplements. Probably have no real idea. You're just taking somebody's word for it. And from what I've seen in my own little bits of research, so many times these supplements are not what they say they are. And nobody's checking or overseeing what's going on. At least with the organic program for USDA, you got somebody overseeing that, right? These supplements are generally almost exclusively unregulated. The other problem, number two, with supplements is that if you listen to Dr. T. Colin Campbell, I've interviewed him. I got a few interviews with him on this channel. Search it up, aPlantBasedDiet.org and T. Colin Campbell. On this channel, there's a search bar just for this YouTube channel. You can find out some more there. But he says that these supplements actually cause cancer in humans. So that is like the main reason that he does not recommend anybody take supplements, is because they are likely and or known carcinogens. I mean, and a lot of people say like, oh, everything causes cancer these days, and there are. If you got up to this point in this V-Book, we talked about all kinds of things causing cancer, from alcohol to cosmetics, deodorants, antiperspirants, cooking your food at too high of a temperature, all these things. And actually, we'll continue to talk about this thing because you just need to know this stuff. There are so many things in the lifestyle of the average Joe and Jane that cause cancer. It's just pathetic that we're not educated on these things from an early age to avoid them. Just like we're educated, okay, you got to put your seatbelt on when you get in the car, right? You got to do a bunch of other things, this and that, to just common sense things. Actually, nowadays, you got to wear a helmet when you ride a bike. These types of things. It should be no different than that. It's just a simple education matter, and we need to get this out there. So, as a little tangent there on cancer, but for this chapter anyway, for B12, just the takeaway is very simple, very simple. take your B12, take it on a regular basis, get your blood checked if you're not sure that your B12 levels are adequate or not, and don't take supplements. Don't take anything else. If you feel the need to, or someone tells you to, because you're super deficient, okay, take it temporarily. But don't rely on that long-term going forward. Just like we don't want you to rely on cholesterol medicine as your plan going forward to ensure that your cholesterol number is low enough. No, we want you to get off of animal products, high-fat foods, these types of things, even if it's plants, that'll lower your cholesterol level. Get on the low calorie density, low percentage of calories and fat. Same thing with here. This is not, supplements are not a long-term solution, and it's questionable if they're even a short-term solution. So just let that be your takeaway. And let me know below how many times a week you take your B12, how many milligrams, if you've had your blood tested. I want to hear your experiences about this. I mean, I've known people that are fully plant-based and vegan, even people that are raw that say they don't take B12 and they've had their blood tested and their levels are great. Everybody's different. So, and not only is everybody different, but a lot of times, as we know, with the doctors and the medical system and the sick care, this is one of the things I have a real big issue with the way it's set up now, is that the patient will tell the medical professional one thing, a little story when they're in there for 10 minutes, which in many cases, I think is not what's actually going on. I would love if people could be monitored, like with biometric monitoring devices. We'll have a chapter on that, cameras watching them, whatever it takes, so that the medical professional in charge of the care actually knows what's truly going on and not some story recited from the person from memory, which is totally biased. So I'll leave you with that. But let me know in the comments all you can about B12. Let me know if you've taken supplements. If you did, if they cause any negative side effects, I'd love to hear that. I don't want to hear that they cause negative side effects, but if you're not taking them anymore because they were, I want you to tell people. And of course, share this video with people on your social media platforms. So give it a like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next chapter. Bye-bye.